One debate that is always being had between Premier League fans is who has the best stadium or atmosphere. It is, of course, very subjective, but I had a go at ranking all 20 top-flight English stadiums for the 2023-24 season based on their atmosphere, from worst to best. Somebody has to be in dead last, unfortunately, and it is Fulham's Craven Cottage that has drawn the short straw for us. Recent improvements to the ground may have helped improve the atmosphere, but it is in an area of London which is renowned for being too friendly when it comes to a football crowd. We don't have to travel very far to reach 19th place, as we now arrive at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea fans only have two chants, and they involve saying the name of their club at different tempos, which says it all really. On another day, the Blues could have been bringing up the rear in the place of their West London adversaries. We are yet to move on from the capital as we go up north and pay a visit to the Emirates. Arsenal don't necessarily boast a bad atmosphere, but fans of a certain age are able to compare it to Highbury, and it pales in comparison to its predecessor. Lewis Dunford's song The Angel, North London Forever, is a welcome addition before kick-off, though, that is for sure. Our first foray out of London takes us to the stadium, which is probably most talked about, and normally in a negative way, the Etihad. Once again, there is a group of the fanbase who will have fond memories of Molineux Road and all of the ups and downs experienced there, whereas others will have only been along for the ride under Sheikh Mansour, which is part and parcel of the game and the success it brings. It doesn't get called the Etihad for no reason, let's just say that. West Ham United fans will ask those of an Arsenal persuasion to hold their glass when the latter brings up moving from one stadium to another. Upton Park was one of the most intense battling grounds that English had to offer, only for its replacement, the London Stadium, to sometimes be dubbed a soulless ball. The Irons faithful can still create an atmosphere though, and there isn't anything like hearing I'm Forever blowing bubbles at full tilt. It has to be said that the biggest issue with AFC Bournemouth's Dean Court is the size of it, with only Luton Town's hotly contested home ground being smaller in the Premier League. They have seen some great moments there in recent years thanks to Eddie Howe and co, but in the nicest way possible, it is relatively forgettable, hence its placement. Remaining on the south coast with the high-flying Seagulls, Brighton and Hove Albion. It doesn't get talked about much, but the Amex looks fairly modern, which is the actual case with it only being inhabited for just over a decade now. Wolves may be going through their fair share of problems at the moment, meaning Molineux may not be at its best in terms of atmosphere, but this doesn't erase any of the history it has. The ground still produces a good sound and is deserving of a mid-table finish here. The newest stadium on this list by far is the home of Brentford, which was built with their Premier League ambitions in mind. The Bees fans have enjoyed some excellent moments in their new ground and have produced a noise to match it. Minus points for sharing it with a rugby team though. On another day, Luton Town could be at the very bottom of this list due to the complications that have come with their promotion to the top flight. Kenilworth Road is ingrained in EFL heritage though, and those tight touchlines, which even the best cameramen can be caught out by, are iconic. Renovations or not, Luton's stomping ground shouldn't be looked down upon. After a break from the big hitters of English football, we return with the biggest of them all, Manchester United. As is the case with a lot of these historic grounds, there is an element of tourism to it. Rival fans will be keen to kick United whilst they're down, but the vocal opposition to the Glazer family says all you need to know about the many millions who follow the Red Devils. The second of the three newly promoted teams to feature on this list is Burnley with their industrious-looking Turf Moor. In the back end of their last Premier League stint, the circumstances reached some pretty low lows, and yet the Burnley fans continued to show up in their numbers. There is something about northern football fans that can't be beaten by us southern folk. Alongside Upton Park as one of the most ferocious atmospheres you are likely to encounter is Tottenham Hotspur's old home, White Hart Lane. They may not have moved far, but the commercialization of their new ground, whilst hugely impressive, sees them slide down a few positions as a result. That being said, Spurs fans remain some of the best in the division. Everton are another club who have been through a lot whilst retaining their Premier League status, and it has really put the fanbase to the test. Goodison Park is another stadium that is deserving of the old school tag, and the supporters match with their passion and the noise that they produce on those terraces. Aston Villa have been going in the opposite direction, with European football to show for it as well as a raucous atmosphere. Villa Park is very aesthetically pleasing, and it also has one of those roars after a goal is scored that is just perfect. Nottingham Forest are a club with a lot of history, and the City Ground has been through all of that, from the European Cups to the return to the Premier League. One can't forget that Forest have a pre-match song of their own, which is consistently belted out come rain or shine. The greasy chip butty song sang by Sheffield United fans is once again very northern and is excellent too. Having Bramall Lane back in the top flight is a joy, and the same goes for the Blades faithful that inhabit it and sing their lungs out week in, week out. More often than not, the top three are agreed on, with the only issue maybe being the order. Crystal Palace's Selhurst Park regularly surprises players that go to play there, even if it isn't their first visit, and so eases its way into a podium place. Putting Anfield second isn't a ploy to be controversial, it is just based on all the information we have in front of us. You'll never walk alone is like nothing else out there, and the camaraderie of Liverpool fans that is often displayed makes it a fortress that their players regularly defend with all of their might. In top spot is the home of the Geordies, the home of the Magpies, the home of Newcastle United, St James Park. It beats Liverpool to top spot through two primary criteria points. One is the consistency. As great as Anfield is, they are more known for Champions League nights than being excellent every single game. Secondly, it is what you hear from people who have played there. Of course, the home of the Reds is mentioned a lot, but St James Park is on another level. Just the other day Marcel Desailly was waxing lyrical about it. Newcastle are very deserving of the crown in this list. That is it, that's end of the video. If you didn't like my list, don't forget to comment below. Next time I will be doing Bundesliga stadiums worst to best. If you like this video PLZ, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. See you on the next video.